Cheering at pro wrestling shows in Japan is back, and 2023 is already shaping up to be a big year in the history of pro res. That's why you should listen to the Emerald Flow Show. From the Royal Road to the Green Mat, Paul and Gerard take you into the world of All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. Not only do we analyze events, but we examine business, who is getting over, what angles are working or not. Occasionally, we take a look at other Japanese promotions like DDT and Zero One. So if you're looking for more coverage of the world of Japanese wrestling, check out the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Kiss me like a love song. 소란 너무 가오리.君へ片想い涙の失恋Give me fire, give me double chatter.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. You can follow us on X at Emerald Flow Show, and you can listen to us on all of your favorite podcast apps. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review, and you can donate to the show if you're feeling generous at voicesofwrestling.com/donate. I'm Gerard, and Paul has returned. Paul, we're going to get to your Japan trip really quickly, but I have two quick questions for you. Mm-hmm. Did you shake Fukuda's hand at Korakuen Hall?
No, I did not shake Fukuda's hand at Korakuen Hall, but I did kind of give him a nod.
And second question, are you the mastermind?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I am the mastermind.
All right. Well, with those two questions out of the way, you probably have a lot to talk about because a lot happened, especially in All Japan while you were in Japan. So how was it?
I mean, it was great. It was my second trip to the country after 2019. I actually had plans to go back there in 2020, which for obvious reasons did not happen. So I was really happy to just be back there. Like, it's just really fun. I'm still jet lagged to shit. But I am already kind of like, I've actually spent some time today kind of like looking at flights for New Year's for this year, basically. So I am thinking about going right back, and yeah, it is just really fun, and it's just so convenient to get around the country. Like, I saw some like it's just really convenient to get to all of the wrestling venues. I saw some other stuff in the country as well. I went to this like really cool hot spring town that has like the snow monkey park as well, which is where, like, you know, the monkeys sit in the hot springs. And I actually, like, while I was there, the hotel I was staying at had an outdoor onsen. So I was actually like, and the onsens are like open all night, which I should mention as well. So I was actually sitting in an onsen in the middle of the night, in the middle of a snowstorm. Like, that's just such a cool memory. Like, that's definitely one of those things that I'm just not going to forget. And yeah, no, it's also like while I was there, kind of like just all of the shit went down in Japan. Mm-hmm. So like I felt the earthquake on January 1st. My first ever earthquake. I don't know if you've ever been in an earthquake, Gerard?
Technically, I have, but you could barely feel it.
Oh, okay. No, and this was my very first one. So I was like, I had just checked into my hotel, and I remember I was like listening, I was like, because I just checked into the hotel, I was like, why is there such weird noise coming from the neighbors? I don't like, are the walls that thin? I can't even make out what that is supposed to be. And then I'm like, am I getting like really dizzy? Why is my vision blurring? And then I like put two and two together, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's an earthquake. Oh shit. And then I looked outside, and nobody in Tokyo gave a shit. So yeah, I was like, okay, and no one else on my floor reacted because I was like up on the 10th floor of the building.
Right.
That's why I was like, the noise wasn't the neighbors, the noise was the building moving, which is really weird to think about. But yeah, in Tokyo, nobody gave a shit. Obviously, like other parts of the country got hit really, really badly, including Kanazawa, which I actually had on my list for my trip. I actually hotel booked and everything. I did end up canceling that one. Like I would have gone there like a week after the earthquake, but I was like, that also feels really disrespectful, like a week after a big earthquake to just turn up there and be like, yeah, hey, I'm a tourist. Let me look at all of your nice things while you're like clearing away rubble. So obviously didn't do that. Then we had like the plane crash at Haneda Airport, which luckily at least the people, I mean, obviously some of the people in the smaller plane died, but at least the people in the big, like all of the like 300 something people in the Japan Airlines flight survived. And I was actually not that far from it because that again happened during the Noah show. So I was in Ariake Arena, which is really just right across Tokyo Bay from Haneda Airport. So that was pretty close. And then the day after that, again, this is 3 days in a row. The day after that, people got stabbed on the Yamanote line, like the Tokyo like ring line.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually on the Yamanote, like not that train, obviously, but I was like in Shinjuku, like station, just kind of like wanting to go home because it's like close to midnight. And I'm like, why is the train not running at all? And then I find out, oh, people got stabbed on like the other side of Yaman, like in Akihabara. So yeah, it was kind of a wild day, a wild time. And no, but I really, really enjoyed it. Absolutely going to do it again. Might just do it again, like exact same time this year. So we'll see about that. Because I kind of looked at how much money I spent and how I am, like how my finances are looking like year over year.
Mm-hmm.
And I can actually justify it. So yeah, I just need to draw up a plan again. And there is a pretty decent likelihood that we'll just redo this at the same time next year.
That's funny. So what was the best show you saw?
That would be the December 31st All Japan show in Yoyogi. I think that was top to bottom was the best show out of all of them. I would say the 3rd of January All Japan Korakuen, probably the second best, and then third I would actually put one of the shows that we're going to cover later. Actually, both of the shows that we're going to talk about that I was at, the Korakuen shows, were all both really good. But yeah, I think the Yoyogi show, like that was just such a cool venue, like the entire atmosphere, the main event, like it was just really, really cool. And the seats were great.
And you got harassed by Jiro.
Yeah, I got harassed by Jiro because I just hear his, like, I can actually tell you because like his theme is starting. I'm like saying something to John about like, oh, this is gonna take forever. And I just, because where we were sitting, I was like literally right in front of the blue entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And I normally would like turn around and like take a picture of like whoever was coming out. So I actually have loads of pictures from the entrance there. And I was like saying something to John, and I was like turning around to like take a picture of Jiro like coming out. And as I'm turning around, I just have Jiro's crotch on my face. and I literally go like, ah. I don't know if that got picked up by the microphone, but yeah. Now, one thing I will have to say though, while we're on the topic of Jiro, Gerard, I have to say, I think I am fully Jiro pilled now.
Well, you saw it live, so it's different.
Yeah, I saw it live like 5 times.
Well, well, that one Korakuen was against Suzuki. That was quite the experience.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, I literally went from not watching it at all to being annoyed to it to being really like having a lot of fun with it by the last show, because like I literally saw him on the very first show I was there, because I went to the Great Show on December 30th, and on where he like teamed with Colt Cabana and the other AEW dude. Who was it again?
Color.
Yeah. And so on that one, I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. And I literally like walked out. I went to the toilet. Then, because this was in Tokyo Dome City Hall, which I have never been to, I was looking for the bar. I bought a beer at the bar, and I made it back to my seat all before he had finished his entrance. And then, yeah, no, by the end of it, I was like screaming, Ike, man. Ike, man. Well, like, yeah, it really does change your like perspective of it if you're there live. Like, it is actually genuinely a shit ton of fun if you're there.
That's funny. Yeah, I watched a lot of Jiro entrances over that week, I gotta say too. But the heat that they got when that entrance got interrupted at Corkin was incredible.
Yes. Yeah. No, people love this entrance. It's like I don't think it comes even across at like how much people actually do love it in person, like on VOD.
And
the crowd is so loud for it.
You walked out during a match, I understand.
Yes, I walked out during Ibushi versus Marufuji, and I have to mention I walked out before Ibushi just shattered his ankle. So because I was basically like this. So on that day, so we watched the 1-2 Kurikan, and then went straight from there to the Ariake show. So that was like a lot of wrestling, because the Ariake show was also like way too fucking long. That just took forever. And so, but I already watched the like 2.5 hours of the All Japan Kurikan before that, and then like the 5 some plus something hour like Noah show on top of it. I was just tired. I can't do this anymore. And I was like, I would have stuck around if the match had been good, but the match was just sad. I was like, I watched it and I was like, I just actually don't want to watch it anymore, because I just don't feel good just watching the match as it is already. And then it got worse after I left, which is baffling. But I will say, though, the Ariake show was not the worst show of the trip, though.
What was the worst show of the trip?
That was no Stash. That was the other show where I walked out during the main.
Oh, really?
Yep. Okay, so here's the thing. So obviously that match was much better, the main event on that one. But the problem with the arena was there were no concessions in there.
Mm.
There was no drinks, there was no food, nothing. And normally most Japanese arenas you have something, and I was really hungry. Was really, really, really hungry. Like the other show was really hungry at actually was the Yoyogi show. But like they had like a food van outside that you could just go to and grab some food and everything. Like, and there was nothing similar to that at New Year's Dash. And New Year's Dash also made me grumpy, because I was like, there was just not a lot to really sink your teeth into on that one. So yeah, I just didn't really enjoy New Year's Dash. Whereas there was stuff on the Ariake show that I did really enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And did you feel a palpable tension at any of those All Japan shows after the 31st?
I definitely felt it at the 2nd of January, where people were kind of like, there was a lot of like weird, at the beginning of the show, there was like a very weird atmosphere, and people like literally booing Fukuda and everything. Yeah. But the show also felt like a bit of like a palate cleanser as well. And I think especially after Dempsey pinned Nakajima, I think that actually took a lot of tension out of the air, because people realized it's like, oh, he pinned Nakajima, that means he's losing.
Not among international fans.
Yeah, which is I couldn't believe the reaction I saw to people. It's like, do you not understand how Puro booking works? Like, this is very like, I found that very funny, because again, mine and like everyone else that was there live, their feelings were like, oh, okay, so he's losing. Okay, so this is whatever. Like, I can kind of go a lot more relaxed into the show tomorrow. Cool, fine. Whereas I read like reactions, people like, oh my God, I can't believe Dempsey put Nakajima. All Japan is doomed. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And well, that was the same sort of, well, I mean, I could see like saying, oh, well, you could have saved his first loss in All Japan, I suppose, but it's not exactly as if Nakajima was this guy that never lost a lot before.
Yeah, and also, I mean, okay, well, actually, no, what? I'm gonna save my second take for later.
So any other quick notes on the trip?
I can only recommend it for everyone. It's really, really good. If you really want to do it, just do it because you never know when the next pandemic happens.
Or
So
when the
if
next,
you have
or when the yen rises.
exactly. So if you have the finances for it, do it. Just do it.
Perfect. So we'll quickly go into top 10 matches of 2023 because the Voice of Wrestling pool, the ballots are due on the 21st. So, Paul, you start because my list isn't finished, although I got most of it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go from 10th to first.
Okay.
So I just submitted my list basically like an hour or so ago. So my number 10 match, which I kind of put on there like because the number 10 spot always can be like a bit of a like, like self-indulgent spot as well. And because I struggled so much with rating this match and everything, but I thought like I think it deserves to be on here. It's from the March 21st, 2023 from All Japan. It's the Triple Crown match, Yuji Nagata versus Shuji Ishikawa. Because like it's just to me, it's just such a fascinating match of them just doing absolutely crazy shit and then also spending like 5 minutes consecutively just lying on the mat, panting really heavily. And no, I just love this match, and I think to me like it needed to be mentioned at least somewhat. Then the ninth match is the Kongo. So Katsuki Nakajima, Keno, and Manabu Soya defeating the Zenichi, Shin Jindai, Kento Miyahara, and Yuma Aoyagi and Suwama from February 21st, 2023 in Noah from the Muto Retirement Show. This was just really the match that kicked off the whole Kento Miyahara versus Nakajima feud that was going to be important for both promotions going forward. And yeah, also it was just a really, really great match too. And I also wanted to get one of these like 6-man tags on here because I thought there were just a lot of great 6-man tags, especially involving like Keno, for example. Then the next one is Kaito Kiyomiya defeats Keno from January 1st from the Noah the New Year show. Again, I thought this was probably Kaito's best match all year. Keno's best match as well, at least singles. No, I would say, yeah, definitely his best match as well. I just really, really enjoyed it. Like these two are just absolutely insane. It just kind of threw all kinds of crazy shit at each other, and this was no exception. The next one is the Champion Carnival Finals, Shotaro Shino defeating T-Hawk. I thought it was just great performance by both. I think it's in many ways is going to be Ishino's peak, most likely in All Japan. It's just kind of unfortunate that he literally broke his arm during the finish. But great match otherwise. Not T-Hawk's best match though. More on that later. Then next up, it's from Forbidden Door. It's Will Ospreay defeating Kenny Omega for the IWGP US title. Yeah, I preferred this one a lot to the Tokyo Dome match. I have a strong feeling that the Tokyo Dome match might be the one that will be like the overall winner for this.
Yeah.
But I just preferred and not that the Tokyo Dome match was bad, but I just liked this one a lot more. Like it was just even more violent and just absolutely insane.
Timing your nose at the safety nerds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it probably would have been even higher for me if it didn't have the like Don Callis interference, which I think we talked about at the time.
Yeah.
But aside from that, just absolutely amazing match. Next up, we have the first Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Kento Miyahara match. So the one from July 15th in Korakuen in Noah at the time. So yeah, I love this match. Just amazing atmosphere. Just just the hottest Korakuen crowd like you've heard since the pandemic, I would say. And it really carried the match. I did prefer the second match, but yeah, if you're someone that prefers the first match, I don't really think there's like any way you can go wrong here. Then next up, we have Will Ospreay defeats Shota Umino, again defending the IWGP US title from November 4th, 2023 in New Japan. This was, to me, was Will Ospreay's best match of the year, and also my favorite Shota Umino match so far. Like this really, like I was already turning the corner on Shota Umino before, and I've definitely have completely, but this really was like the match that like convinced me that like this guy is going to be the ace of New Japan in the future. Like just tremendous talent, just great performance. But like Shota really showed like how well he can work as an underdog here, and will also like just will really put him over too. Like he basically threw like everything at Shota Umino and then barely managed to put him away in the end. But Umino lost in such a way that he still like came out stronger afterwards. And then my third match is a match that I saw live from December 30th, 2023, from the Great Show in Tokyo Dome City Hall. It's Hayato Tamura defeats T-Hawk to win the G-Rex Championship. So as much as I like poo-pooed like Tamura not winning at the Sumo Hall show, I think in a way it actually did enhance this match because it felt like so much more important for him to win now. Because if he had lost this match, then he would have just been toast essentially. So and this was very noticeable like among the live crowd as well, who were just like there was really big support for Tamura in the crowd. I don't know how much that came across live, but this crowd was just rooting for Tamura all the way, including me. And it was one of those finishes where like I literally jumped up in my chair when he actually beat T-Hawk. And T-Hawk, when he's on, is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I've kind of realized that like when T-Hawk is on, he is actually might be like one of my like all-time favorites as well, because he's just so good at everything. And then my number 2, which for the longest time was my match of the year, literally until the last day of the year, which was from May 4th, 2023 in Big Japan. It's Yue Aoki defeats Yuji Okabayashi to win the Strong Championship. Yeah, to me, this is like a near perfect like wrestling match. Just the story of like Aoki just overcoming like the final boss of Yuji Okabayashi by just sheer heart and determination. Just absolutely amazing stuff. I gushed about it at the time, and I've only grown to love it more since then. But it did get unseated from the top spot, literally at the last second, by Katsuhiko Nakajima and Kento Miyahara from the All Japan from the AGPW Maniacs show. Yeah, again, just I've gushed about it on the Wrestling Omakase episode that I recorded with John right after. So go listen to that one if you wanted more like in-depth thoughts on it. But just the whole atmosphere was just incredibly special for this as well. Just Nakajima coming out with the Inoki theme, and Kento just really feeling like the big defender of like All Japan, and then just the complete shocker of a finish. Because not just does Kento not get his win back, he taps out to Nakajima, which makes this even more shocking. And yeah, just great story overall. Like the match structure was really good. Just Nakajima working over the arm and then using that to tap him out in the end. And yeah, no, 5-star match, easily best match of the year.
All right, so my list is still sort of being formulated because I got a couple days left. I've got the top 7. I'm thinking of putting that Tokyo Dome 6-man Congo versus All Japan on it, as well as Kiyomiya versus Kento. But at number 7, I've got the Kento and Yuma versus Honda and Anzai 30-minute draw. Number 6, Funori Abe versus Takui Nomura from October in the We Are Fighting Detective show. It's funny because I rewatched the match and it was still pretty incredible, but I didn't quite love it as much as the first time I watched it. but still, it's absolutely deserving in my top 10. Number 5 is Kento Miyahara versus Yuji Nagata from February. Just an incredible match, incredible performance by Nagata. And then my number 4 match is Yuya Aoki versus Yuji Okabayashi from May 4th in Big Japan, obviously. Number 3, I wonder if anyone has this on their list is high or higher than me. Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aoyagi versus the Saito brothers from October 9th.
That was one of my last cuts.
Which I thought might be one of the best tag team matches of the year. And then number 2 is Kento versus Nakajima 1, and number 1 is Kento versus Nakajima 2.
Yeah, no, I feel like that is probably going to be hopefully will be the All Japan match that does the best.
I think in the poll. Well, one of them I think will sneak into the top 10.
I'm just kind of afraid it might split the vote, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, I mean, what's going for the second one is that it happened on December 31st.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful. And so this week we're going to start off with All Japan and the All Japan drama that has happened since the last time I did the show. So it is official that Shuji Ishikawa is leaving the company. That was finally announced. But also Black Menso Ray is leaving the company. And it should be noted that Ishikawa already now has bookings in Noah and Great. We'll get to more on that in a bit later. But there's been a bunch of stories out in the media. And apparently Tiger Kihara may have been covertly blaming Suwama for some of this. Suwama's giving these work to shoot interviews. Nakajima is talking about this mastermind that's up to whatever is going on in All Japan. And today he put out a video on X where he's walking late at night and he's dressed like Rocky when Rocky's like doing his run up the steps of the Philadelphia Library with gray tracksuit and red toque. And then there's a guy with like a luchador mask on that's clearly Simon Inoki.
Yes.
So I don't know, Paul. I think Mensuri is a bit of a blow just because he's a solid end.
He's been there forever.
Some people were downplaying it. And yes, it's not a crisis, but I think it's a bigger blow than some people may think. Also because he was involved in Evolution.
Yeah.
Because he was
same with I mean
same with Ishikawa.
Yeah, because they were both like very heavily involved backstage.
Yeah, and so I wonder what's going to happen with Evolution. I don't know.
I mean, we've seen a lot of Actress time, right? And not a lot of Evolution time.
No. But I got to say, this is sort of the angles that they're now trying to run out of this are ridiculous, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, this weird work shoot stuff. I'm not sure where this is going, and I'm not sure. I mean, do you really get heat if you bring Simon Inoki out and the what's the next big show? What's the
27th
again?
Hachoji or something.
Yeah,
it's in the west end of Tokyo.
I don't know if that's gonna draw any heat, so I'm not sure about that. It's very weird.
Yeah, so I get the vibe that we're building to a Suwama versus Nakajima match.
I guess so, but that would be also be very weird if we end this whole thing with Suwama winning the title.
Oh God, because they're running out of Ward on March 30th, and there's not a ton of matches you could main event with that, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
That's one of the biggest, unless you wanted to pull the trigger on a Yuma or a Kento match again.
Yeah. And you can't even do an Ishikawa match now because he's gone.
My theory of him showing, because they took so long to announce his departure, my theory of him, because they're not going to work the departure an official announcement.
No.
So my theory of him attacking Nakajima after a match is gone. But I got to say, and as much as people talked about Nakajima reinventing himself, I think he still sort of has some bad instincts when it comes to creative.
Yes, he does. So, I mean, it was always the danger, because the whole gimmick he was doing is kind of a fine line, right?
Hmm.
So you can definitely overdo it. Like I said, I'm not walking out on it, but it is definitely like a first, like, okay, let's see where this one is going. But I think for now it's still doing good, but
Yeah.
there's definitely a line where you can take this whole, like, where you can get too cute with it,
Well,
essentially.
he's standing up on the line. It could easily cross it depending on where this Simon and
Yeah.
Oak thing goes.
Yeah, if he just starts coming out with Simon Inoki now, then I'm like, I don't know about that one.
It's funny because Inoki denied it and said, "No, I was just there to communicate between WWE and All Japan and everything like that."
I mean, maybe the whole thing's changed since then, since they were seen that people were kind of like mad about it, and because they're wrestlers now, they want to use it for like heat essentially. But I don't know if that word is working.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there were no, and we should clarify, Nakajima is not vacating the Triple Crown.
Oh yeah, no.
He's left it with at the All Japan office while he goes and trains and walks around at night with a masked Simon Inoki.
What better training can there be?
Yeah.
It
Uh,
wasn't even that late at night because the trains were running. I just realized.
oh yes, yes, there was a train in the background that was running.
Yeah,
It was dark out. But I felt like they were trying to give the vibe that it was late at night because there was nobody in the
yeah,
streets, and everything like that. But then a train goes.
yeah.
What
Which
time
is
did the train stop?
like midnight, like shortly after
Okay.
midnight. So it's definitely not that late.
Anyway, so that's yeah the latest in the All Japan drama. And then like Rising Hayato continues to make these like posts about like oh the president, dunking on the president, everything like that.
Yeah,
Oh, and it should said that possibly not everyone has signed a contract yet.
that too. But I feel like with Hayato, it might also just be part of his gimmick of being like the
Oh yeah,
rebellious, like punk
yeah, I,
boy.
I agree that too. I agree with that too. Paul, do you have any feelings on who might not have signed a contract?
I mean, it's so far it's only been older guys, right?
Yeah,
So,
you know
but
who
then
I was.
again, like, would there be people that haven't signed a contract yet that came out in the tracksuit?
That's a good point.
Because normally, right, like all the people that come out in the tracksuit have a contract. Like that's, I mean, it's not the rules, but that's kind of how it works. But then
I mean,
again, did
I,
Mensere come out?
I think
Mensere
so.
came out, right? Yeah, okay.
I mean, it could still be a work.
It could still be a work.
But I mean, I don't know. That just got my mind thinking about who didn't. But I think they've got everyone for now until they screw things up ish,
Yeah. I
which
mean, as long
hopefully,
as it's not like Yuma,
yeah.
Aoyagi, or
Ashino?
either Yuma really. Ashino is someone that I might be looking at there because I think he probably knows that they're not gonna like push him super heavily going forward.
Although, who's going to push him super heavily going forward?
Yes,
Great,
that's the
maybe,
great, maybe great. I think would, yeah,
but that's about it. I don't
unless like
know.
Ishikawa goes and like starts up something.
Yeah. But he seemed to be a Suwama guy, so I don't know.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's that. And we'll keep you posted on anything else. But, like, okay, fine. Just cut the silly angles. I don't think it's not getting well received by anyone,
no,
really. Not the Japanese fans either. So, yep. Hopefully, this is just a bump on the road that they're leaning into, and we'll see where things go. But I think a lot will be clarified on the 20 after the 27th.
yeah.
Uh, also, we should say Yukio Sakaguchi is retiring. So they dropped the All Asia Tag titles to Atsushi Onita and Tori Kojima.
What a waste
So,
of time that was.
well, that was sort of sudden because he dropped the titles and then he announced his retirement. He
So you
had
think he might be injured?
he had spinal canal stenosis diagnosed in 2021. So he may have gotten a message from his doctor.
Maybe, yeah. But I also
Maybe.
feel like in general, like this whole thing of like putting the title on like DDT guys and then them just never defending the title in all Japan and then them just dropping it back to Anita is just, I don't know. It's not exactly inspiring.
It is not, but it is what it is. But so you can expect more electric death or electric current death matches or blast death matches anyway. I thought we should escape from that because they didn't book Onita for a while.
Yeah.
So, well,
And I mean, Onita actually made it to the like Korakuen show, but I was like, why is he early on? And I realized, oh yeah, wait, because he needs to like rush down to get to the DDT show.
yeah. But I don't know how long they're going to hold these titles. Like with Toy Kojima and everything, that just seems.
Yeah, that's not a long-term
Yeah.
group.
So we go to that show that you just mentioned, New Year Giants series at Korakuen Hall in front of 1,258 fans. I think that's actually a decent number given what it was.
Yeah.
And that's the power of Fuchi.
Yes, definitely. Like this was really all themed around Fuji. There were actually like flowers from like all kinds of like different promotions and everything in the entrance of Korakuen Hall.
Mm-hmm. Fuchi, and so just to start off the show, we got another Actress match. Me and Sakura Mizushima defeated Maru and Kyoka Iwai when me pinned Iwai with the Kuma-chan Choco Cornet. Paul, what did you think of this match?
So I thought the looks of the heel team were much better than the looks of the face team.
Yes.
It was like why I was like, why is one of them carrying a teddy bear? I don't remember which one of them that was on the face team. And then the heel team just comes out and it's just much cooler. So yeah, like I said, I'm not really super familiar with any of the like Actress girls.
No, I'm trying to educate myself, but I still, no.
Yeah. Like who's the like one that did like the blind drunkard gimmick that was wearing like the cool kimono?
Oh, that was she's like the ace, I think, and she was in the match, the first match with the great Asako. The one in
yeah,
red.
I didn't watch a lot of that much. No, but she was like the one, she came across as like the coolest one out of all of them.
I mean,
And
this match wasn't very good.
no, it wasn't. Like there was a lot of missed spots as well. I mean, it was better than I was expecting it to be, but it was also kind of like fun because of like it to some degree of its sloppiness. But yeah, like overall, it was like, yeah, I don't know what we're really getting out of this whole Actress girls relationship. But there was actually one important thing that was in this, or the most important person in this match was actually none of the participants.
Who was it?
Nikan Lee as the referee.
Oh, yes, that's right. I noticed that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm wondering if this is just like a thing that she did as like a as a favor to Fuji, or maybe if she is kind of like coming back into the fold a bit more.
Well, so I think someone said she showed up in another Joshi promotion to referee, but I got to double check that.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's interesting. So maybe it's not all bad blood because she was an interesting departure because she left before everyone else started to leave.
Yes,
Maybe she
was
just
like the
smelled
trendsetter.
the trouble before everyone else. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we had the Fuchi birthday ceremony with messages from Kawada, Kobashi, Tenru, and Chono.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
was
also see
also
those?
really cool to see. Yeah, no, I was
Oh,
there. So that was really, really cool to see, like to see all of the videos. To then you have like great Kojika come out as well, and Otani and
Onita, you mean?
Onida, yes, not Otani, yes, no, yeah, sorry. Onida, Kojika as well. It's like, oh man, Kojika looks rough. Kojika also looks like his suit was made like around the same time when like Fuji made his debut.
And so that was a nice ceremony. No Akiyama or Taue messages, which I thought was
That was
interesting.
notable as well to me. Yeah, that like Akiyama was missing from that. And Taue, yeah, because I actually expected after Kawada and Kobashi, I actually fully expected Taue to be next, and then he never came up.
So we got to our first match, which is.
But we did get Tenru though, who
we did get
also
Tenru.
is not looking well.
No, but he seems to be doing a little better than he was.
Yeah,
because he was in hospital for a bit. Then Hikaru Sato, Kotaro Suzuki, Koji Iwamoto, and Fuminori Abe defeated Dan Tamura, Atsuki Aoyagi, Rising Hayato, and Ryo Inoue in 7 minutes, 11 seconds with the Koko no Geijutsu from Iwamoto on Tamura, obviously setting up their title match. on December 27th or January 27th, excuse me. This was a good little junior sprint, and I'm excited for their match on the 27th because I think it'll be really good. And I think they complement each other's styles. And I got to ask Paul, Dan is shockingly over, is he not?
Dan is incredibly over. I was also baffled by how over he was. No, like people love him, like especially the women.
Yes.
I think that
well,
really is his main
I
fan base.
started noting that trend a few months ago when all these women would post pictures, getting pictures with him before the shows and everything.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, I think me and John talked about it after he won the junior title at the Yoyogi show, where like there were just people bawling their eyes out when he won the title. And yeah, no, the same thing here, where like Dan is like just so incredibly over. Same when he like defended the title against Sato, like the entire crowd was just screaming for him there. And yeah, it is fascinating. Like I really did not expect him to get this over, but I mean, it's a good sign.
Oh, absolutely. And then next up,
But question: do you think Iwamoto had the chance to beat him though?
yes, but am leaning still towards Dan winning.
Yeah, because Iwamoto actually cut a promo saying that he was going to kind of break Fuji's record for junior title reigns.
Well, if they're like, I'm sorry, but they shouldn't put the title on him unless he had signed.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's one of those, like, you know, like, because we're like, well, people haven't signed their contracts, but like, are we sure that those are like existing roster members or people
Well,
that will
yeah, because there's two
join?
people that could fall into that.
Exactly, because it
rubric.
could be him and Ayabe that just didn't sign the contracts.
That's it. Well, then I wouldn't put the title on.
No, yeah.
I know that maybe but I could see them putting the title to try to convince him to sign. I don't know.
But I feel like especially with how over Dan is, like, because before I was like, yeah, okay, maybe Dan is more like someone that is like better for like a shorter title reign. But like having now seen how over he actually is, I think maybe actually Dan having a longer reign, would be a good thing. Especially because they already got the Sato match out of the way, right? Because that was like the logical match,
right? Which is like, drop it. Why drop it to Iwamoto, right?
Exactly. So you can just keep going with it because he is.
And then do they just want to do the story of Atsuki beating Iwamoto? The new ace beats the old ace.
Yeah, I mean you can do that, but I feel like would also be a cool thing if like Hayato like
I mean
Dan after he has like a 6-month reign.
It's his Hayato should be next, really.
Yeah.
How we shake it. And then
if he has signed.
If he has signed, yeah. Then next up, Kuroshio Tokyo, Japan, and Osamu Nishimura defeated Ren Ayabe and Naruki. No, this was Shitaro. No, it was Naruki Doi. I'm thinking back to that other match where Ayabe and Ashino tag teamed randomly, which was clearly because Ishikawa wasn't available.
Yes.
And Naruki Doi, still a very strange tag team, Doi and Ayabe. In 6:33 with an Ikemen hold from Kuroshio on Ayabe, which to me just screams this guy's possibly on his way out after January.
Yeah. Which is so weird because I was like, I would have bet great money after the like New Year's Eve show. And like especially with him announcing that he's like leaving JTO, it's like, oh yeah, this guy is like 100% coming out on 1-2 in a tracksuit, and then everything happened.
I think the real question will be if he's booked after February or into February.
Yeah. If he's still sticking around, then yeah, maybe they can convince him to sign. But again, if they're just dropping him out, that's probably not gonna happen. So who knows?
Yeah. So yeah, match was just a 6.5 minute match, perfectly fine. Obviously with a 6.5 minute entrance as well.
Yeah. No, that was great.
TV title, Seigo Tachibana defeated Black Mensaray in 9 minutes and 32 seconds with the Yankee Hammer, which is like a running elbow to the back of the head where he like pushes it down. I'm actually like, this was before we found out Mensaray was leaving, but at the same time, I wasn't totally shocked or anything at this result, to be completely honest with you. Tachibana has obviously gotten himself over with his connection to Jiro, and I actually enjoyed this match. It was a nice little match.
So I actually didn't really see it. So basically, the problem here is kind of based on the way the show was structured. Like this was kind of like, okay, I was like looking at it and I was like, okay, there's only the tag title match and then the Fuji Rumble and the Fuji match left. And I'm like, okay, I definitely can't miss those. So if I wanted to like go pee, grab another beer and like go to the merch table, I had to do it now. So I actually did miss this match essentially because I like did all of that. But hey, on the positive side, I got myself uh the Fuji anniversary shirt. So there's that at least.
Quick aside, Paul, how many mark picks did you get on this trip?
One, because I don't like to take mark picks. It's literally, I've only ever broken that rule once. And the first time was for Fuminori Abe at 16 karat. And that was also literally because I was like, okay, because he didn't have a shirt. So I was like, okay, but I want to like give you money for something. So I was like, yeah, I'll just give you money for a photo then. And then the other time was like basically it was at the very first show of this trip on the Great Show, where Atsuki was selling merch and like signing a shirt. And he basically was like, hey, yeah, do you also want to take a picture? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So yeah, those are the only mark picks.
So we go up. I thought this was interestingly placed, but it made sense because they did the Fuji match right after the Royal Fuji Rumble. For the World Tag Titles, Jun Seto and Rei Seto defeated Katsuhiko Nakajima and Hokuto Omori in 14 minutes and 41 seconds when Rei pinned Nakajima with an upper show tape palm strike to make their third defense. I thought this was good. I thought the last few minutes were good. I just thought it started off a little slow, and it was also weird because Nakajima and Omori had this extended control sequence, which I thought didn't really fit when you're up against the Saitos.
Yeah, I
Still
did
turned
like
into a
the
very
match
solid
though.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the match, but the only people that have pinned Nakajima so far in All Japan are Charlie Dempsey and Rei Saito. That is an interesting group of people.
It is. It is.
But the one thing I really need to say is I can't overstate how fucking cool the Saitos are in person. Like, it is incredible. Like, they have really did, like, again, talking about other people that have really gotten themselves over, and it is so much more. Like, their charisma is just so much more noticeable in person as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that Saito versus Saito match was like nothing short of like a miracle, basically, at Yoyogi.
that's funny. Yeah, I mean, hey, I think the Saitos are people you got to hang on to now. Like they have
Yeah.
become little stars. Constantly seeing them do media stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, the haters are wrong.
Oh yeah, I know. But I also feel like there aren't even that many like haters of the Saitos left at this point.
No, no, a lot have there's a few left, but a lot have
Yeah.
definitely have changed their tune. Um, I mean, I would love a Ray Saito versus Nakajima Triple Crown match.
Oh yeah, I know that I think that's again like one of those ways that you can put on as like a filler, but I'm not even sure where you would put that just based on the schedule because you definitely can't main event Ota Ward with that. That would
No, you
be
can main event.
insanity.
They've got okay. So what they're doing is they're going to Korakuen on like I think February 10th, and then later on, like I don't know, on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, they're doing a tour in the Southwest. They're going to like Fukuoka and some other towns down there.
Yes,
So
you can do it
you
there,
could
yeah.
do Korg. I think you could do Korakuen with Ray Saito. I really
Oh
do.
yes, no, you absolutely can do that.
I think so. I mean, ideally, um, we'll get an idea. Then we had the eight-man Fuji Royal Fuji Rumble. Excuse me.
Oh,
You may
sorry,
have.
just for quick, one more thing I need to mention while we're on. There is one guy that was at these shows who just loves Hokuto Omori. He actually, fun fact, he actually sat next to me at the 1, 2, and 3 and 1 free show randomly. Because like so he sat next to me on the 1, 2 show. I was like, yeah, this guy was like shouting really loudly when Hokuto was coming out. And then like Hokuto was coming out on the 1 free show, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the same guy sitting next to me that sat next to me at the other show. And then on this show, he sat like a bit further in the back, but I could still very loudly hear him.
That's funny. And in the 8-man Royal Fuji Rumble, Yuma Anzai won by eliminating Kento Miyahara. In the order of eliminations was Ryuki Honda, Suwama, Hideki Suzuki, Yuma Aoyagi, Shitaro Shino, Minoru Suzuki, and then Miyahara. This was like a timed entry, but the funny thing was that some people didn't even make it to the ring by the time the minute was up during their entrances.
It was really good example of like why WWE works the length of the entrances or the length of the like doesn't do like actual shoot minutes
Yeah.
for Royal Rumble entries because it turns into what it turned here where like people kind of struggle to
Well,
get through
also,
the
I think the
entrances.
Rumble entrances are a bit more, at least what, 90 seconds or something?
Yeah.
So,
But like I to be fair, the one that did the best though was Kento, where he basically just realized like he did all of his like shtick and everything, and then just stood outside there forever. And then I think like realized at the last second was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to throw Honda out before the next guy comes out, and like basically just booked it into the ring. It was like, okay, shit, I still need to do my spot.
I mean, this was still very battle royale-ish. I thought the beginning with the Anzai versus Honda was good, and the end with Anzai versus Miyahara. Suwama and Hideki were responsible for their eliminations again. They sort of tumbled out together, if I remember correctly. But they've reconciled yet again.
They reconciled yet again on the outside. Did that even get caught by the camera?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But
I can exclusive scoop. I can say that they made up afterwards. I have photographic evidence.
They did an angle backstage where they reconciled.
Oh, okay.
But
they literally did like pose. They like posed in front of us, like where I was sitting. After they were thrown out, so they had already made up by then.
Mm-hmm. The tease continues.
Yeah.
And then in the Masanobu Fuchi debut 50th anniversary and 70th birthday anniversary match, Yuma Anzai defeated Masanobu Fuchi in 21 minutes and 5 seconds with a face lock. Well, I mean, this had incredible heat, but it was still very Muto match-ish in terms of, obviously Fuchi's limitations, but he did a drop kick, and he did mat work and he did the backdrops and everything. And Anzai, they probably still should have cut off 5-6 minutes from this though. But I was impressed with how quickly Fuchi popped up to cut a promo after the match, after like he was having a stroke on the ground after the match.
Okay, I will say my opinion is probably very heavily influenced by the fact that I saw this live.
But
because live, this felt very different. Like live, I think I wrote as much as well, and like the Discord or Slack or whatever, but it's like I have no idea how this comes across on VOD, but live, this was an amazing experience because people were just like dying and living by it. And it also really helped that you had Kento at ringside.
Yes.
Because he basically was like the biggest like Fuchi cheerleader ever. Where he would just constantly get the crowd to like chant his name and everything. And that like Kento really was like the like uncrowned MVP of this match. Although I will say Anzai is probably like Anzai is the actual MVP, and then Kento is like the like amazing like third man on the outside, just really putting it over. But I also thought Anzai just did a really great job here as well, with obviously like a very limited Fuchi, and just really kind of like selling well and everything, and then just putting him away. And yeah, also this crowd like loved Yuma Anzai as well.
Yeah,
like he was incredibly over, and like I mean everyone knows he's going to be a Triple Crown champion.
And then after the match, Fuchi made comparisons to Jumbo and Misawa with Anzai, and I assume that Anzai's probably going to use that face lock going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he'd better. I mean, it does make sense if he gets like a bit like it is time for him to kind of build out his arsenal a bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Like obviously, like the knee is amazing and it's over and everything, but like he needs to add like a bit more stuff, a bit more variety to his arsenal as well. And yeah, adding something like the face lock is probably like a good idea as well.
Yeah. So like after the show, was it like a great atmosphere?
Oh yes, no. That was just an incredibly like good vibes show all around. Like I really walked out of there and I was very happy that I got to experience that in person.
Yeah, because that's you're not gonna like on the regular trip, you're not gonna experience a show like that.
No. Yeah, because
Unreal.
it's like they saved this for this kind of stuff, and it's just also kind of just you kind of like think about just the sheer like length of Masanobu Fuchi's career,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like to put it into perspective, this man made his debut before the end of the Vietnam War. Like that's insane. Like
Yeah.
like just think about like in what terms we talk about the Vietnam War, like right, like how long ago it was, and like the age of like the like Vietnam War veterans now and all of that. And like this man made his debut before like that war ended.
Mm-hmm. Yes, through so much, and how many times the company has
Yeah.
almost
It is actually
died.
exactly like he was never a big star, right? Because like
No.
normally when we think of a legend, it's like someone that was like a massive star in the promotion, and he never was, but he is a legend. Like he's as much of a legend of all Japan as like anyone else. Like because I'm trying to think like who would even be the people that would like rival him in terms of like status with the promotion, like Baba, obviously. And then it's like, I mean, out of
Jumbo
the
Tenru, the
out
Pillars.
Jumbo, yes, 10 Tenryu would already have to like think about it
Yeah.
because he just right because he was again a guy that like dropped in and out of the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Misawa probably, but again he tried to kill the company, so there's that.
Kawada.
But Kawada probably Kawada is definitely on there as well. But again, all of those were like major stars that we're talking about here. Like none of them were like basically like grumpy like comedy jobbers for like half their career in the promotion. So like it really made me think about like I don't know if I can actually really like properly put that into words really about like what Fuji tells us about how you become a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I will actually at some point be able to like articulate it properly and maybe do it as like an article or something like that. But I just like it's just something that I really thought about during the show. It's like, what does it actually mean to be a legend?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a legend in my books. I think he might be the most underrated wrestler of all time, in if you think about it in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, definitely because he doesn't really make like many like top 100 lists or whatever. But
And I mean, historically, he was in the Jumbo versus
yeah,
uh, N- Super Generation Army
he
feud.
was already a grumpy veteran back then in the early 90s,
Yeah.
just 30 years ago.
And I mean, he was part of that Tueplo concession brawl, the second one with
Mm-hmm.
Onita versus Eddie Gilbert and Ricky Morton,
Yeah.
which had a huge influence on hardcore wrestling in Japan.
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely. He is a legend in my books.
Yes. No, no, no. Like to me, it's like kind of undeniable, especially like because like you don't do this kind of stuff for like someone that isn't a legend.
Hmm.
Like you don't give him his own Korakuen show, like print his own shirt, give him a main event against like the next ace if he isn't a legend.
Yeah. So that's that show. We'll just go quickly the preview for the New Year's Giant series at Tokyo Sporta Arena Hachioji, which is like on the western edge of Tokyo, like past the special wards, um, where they ran that match against Kento and Yuma last February. Although I believe that they're actually using the larger arena this year, the main arena instead of the sub arena. Yeah, they are using the main arena. It says it on the website. So
And it seems tickets are selling like really fast for that.
yeah, let me just double check because what it is I don't think there's any. It's like a basketball thing where there's no seats on the. Well, I mean, normally there's no seats on the floor, but
Mm-hmm.
there's like a second level. Yeah, premium seats sold out. Special ringside sold out. Only a few left ringside and reserve seats on the floor. Only a few left, and then only a few left on the second floor. So that's actually good that the
Mm-hmm.
upper bowl is selling. So the most recent, I don't have the. They haven't released the actual match order yet, so this is not the match order. But the most recent announced match is oldest Sanzu River Electric Blast death match in history with 3 electric blast bats. We've got Atsushi Onita Reijin Yaguchi and Great Kojika. Oh my God. Versus Mr. Pogo. Not that Mr. Pogo. He's dead. This is actually Shadow WX. Legendary Big Japan Deathmatch Wrestler. Versus Onryo and Takumi Sakurai from Pro Wrestling 18.
Sure, why not?
The Sakurai guy is the youngest guy in this match. He is 34 years old. He isn't that old, but you also have an 80-year-old.
Yeah, I was about to say it's literally not even close to half the age of Kojika.
Yeah. And Shadow WX has got to be in his late 40s or early 50s as well.
Yeah. It's been around forever.
Onryo's been around since the late 90s. I remember when he first came around. So he's going to be in his 40s at least. So World Tag Team Championship. Jun Seto and Rei Seto versus Ryuki Honda, Yuma Anzai. I'm looking forward to this match. It'll be great. Paul, who wins this? Because I could see it going a couple of ways. But I think if Saitos lose, that takes the wind out of the sails for any Rei challenge for the Triple Crown.
It does, but on the other hand, I also feel like it's the right time for Anza and Honda.
I do too.
So I think you can do it in a way where like it doesn't
June has to
take
eat
the
the
wind
pin.
off. Yes, June has to eat the pin, but I don't think that's a problem. So yeah, I feel like it's the right time for them. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe you can hold it off a little bit longer, but I do think like New Period should be the next tag team champions.
Yeah.
Like even if they don't win here, then maybe the Saitos hold it a bit longer and then lose it to them after the Champion Carnival or whatever. But they should be the next team up.
I mean, I think the Saitos have to lose it at some point because I think they should probably win the Real World Tag League this year.
Yeah. I could see that happen as well. I mean, the other thing is they're still the G-Rex champions as well. Like, do we think they actually lose the All Japan titles before they lose the great titles?
They got it. I would assume that All Japan is protecting them so they lose the world tag titles first, right?
Okay. And then they used to lose the G-Rex. Yeah, that actually makes sense.
But, something I noticed is other than the Saitos, Great has stopped booking a lot of the All Japan guys.
Yeah.
Like no more
points to
Atsuki.
like points. Well, Atsuki was on the 30th. On the show on the 30th.
Okay.
Hey, literally,
but other than
photographic evidence.
Yes. Other than that, well, Ishikawa's gone now, but he's the only guy even remotely connected to All Japan other than the Saitos. Also, the Saitos are facing Ryuichi Kawakami and Daimanji So on the 21st in Great. And I actually think that match could be really awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know that's true. Like, So is like a really underrated guy.
Yeah. Well, because he was scumming around with Ryuji Sai for so long.
Yes.
No one, but I always thought he had potential when he was in All Japan and everything. But he's coming to his own in Big Japan. So the Shuji Ishikawa and Black Menso Ray farewell match. Shuji Ishikawa and Black Menso Ray versus Ren Ayabe and Ryo Inoue. This is interesting because
it is.
I think it's interesting because of Ayabe in this match on the other team. Like I could see Inoue pinning Menso Ray. I could see Ayabe pinning Ishikawa even. If Ayabe is sticking around, he should pin Ishikawa.
Yes, if Ayabe is sticking around, he should pin Ishikawa. I think this will give us a really good indication whether or not Ayabe is staying.
Yeah.
Because if he gets the pin here, then I think he's staying. If Inoue is just pinning Menso Ray or if Inoue is pinning Ishikawa, then yeah, I don't think he is.
And then a 6-man tag match, Hikaru Sato, Hideki Suzuki, and Suwama versus Naruki Dori, Minoru Suzuki, and Hokuto Omori, who still, a year later, the faction with no name.
Yep. And it has outlived Strong Style now.
It has.
The faction that did get a name. No, they could maybe. Well, okay, it would also be weird to have a faction called Strong Style in all Japan, but
yeah.
I
mean, I get the vibe that this is just a mid-card match, but at the same time, like maybe they finally do the breakup angle after the match. But I don't really see anything to this match other than that. Or it could just be a match.
It could also just be a match, yeah.
Next up, we got Kento Miyahara and Rising Hayato versus Kuroshio Tokyo Japan and Seigo Tachibana. This will generate a lot of heat.
Yeah.
A lot of heat, brother. A lot of heat.
Definitely will be. It is kind of a weird match to put Kento in on such a big show, though.
Yeah.
But hey, they're drawing anyway, so that's a good sign.
Does Hayato win here and get a title shot? against
For
Tachibana.
the Giora title,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't love that one.
I don't love that. But then what did he just have? Jiro pin Hayato?
What if Kento pins Tachibana and he gets a title shot?
Hmm. You never know. I could see that too.
But then
Um,
how like do you put the you don't put the Giora title on Kento?
no, no. You could have, yeah, you could have Tachibana just drop a fall to Kento and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Um, and then we've got ourselves World Junior, PWF World Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Dan Tamura versus Koji Iwamoto. We already talked about this match. I'm still leaning towards Dan retaining, but I would go 60-40 maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably want to say maybe like a little bit more confident. I would maybe go 65-35, but to Dan retaining. But I could see Iwamoto winning too.
Mm-hmm. Will be a good match, I think, though.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. These two have pretty good chemistry. And Iwamoto is very clearly like motivated.
Mm-hmm. And then All Japan versus DDT special tag match, Yuma Aoyagi and Asuki Aoyagi versus Konosuke Takeshita and Hideki Okatani. Paul, this could steal the show.
I mean it could be, yeah. I mean, depends like with Okatani and everything.
Oh, Okatani's will be fine in a tag match against these guys. I mean, I think he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's necessarily at the level of like Yuma or Takeshita, but it will be a good
Oh
match, I
yeah.
expect.
It definitely.
I'm assuming that Yuma pins Okatani because Takeshita is probably beating Yuma at whatever that show in March is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really baffling how much control just WWE has over All Japan.
It is shocking, yes.
Like it's just they're like just completely controlling their booking. They've basically bought out the promotion, hollowed it out, and just turned it into like their feeder system. As we can very clearly see them by having Konosuke Takeshita on like 2 All Japan shows, but sure.
Yeah. And then the WWE panic is mostly faded, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Funny how that
but to be
happened.
fair, there's like actual reasons to panic now.
Yes, there's actual reasons to panic. And in the
You
main
don't
event,
have to deal with the fake panic anymore, at least. That's nice.
in the main event, Kazuhiko Nakajima versus Shotaro Ashino for the Triple Crown. I expect Nakajima to do something gimmicky. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be the Inoki thing again or the Kaz Fujita thing, as many people also point out. But I think I mean, I get why he also invokes Kaz Fujita, but I mean, coming out with Hisashi Shinma as a total Inoki move, like,
yeah.
So I mean, I have high expectations for this match. These guys had an amazing match in Wrestle One, but obviously Nakajima's winning, and it'll be. I hope they find something to do with Shino after this match.
I mean, it might just stick him into a tag team again.
I could very well see that.
Would they put him and Suwama back together?
I could see that.
I mean, there was still like stuff left in the tank for like runaway suplex.
Yeah. They just broke that up because of they didn't trust Jake Lee in the main event of Budokan.
Yes. Oh god, that was such a weird year. But yeah, no, this match should be really good. I really would have wished that they kind of like were like building this a bit more.
I was just gonna say they didn't build this at all at Korakuen on that Korakuen show.
Yes,
which I thought was a big mistake.
Also the thing, yeah. Like there weren't really any interactions between them at all, and I was like, I mean, they could have at least like had like because like Nakajima also cut like a pretty lengthy promo,
yeah,
after the tag title match, and
he was
really
talking
like,
about
talk about it,
and I don't know what it's more bizarre stuff like which I assume links to the Mastermind and everything like that, right?
Yeah. What if it's Vince McMahon?
Well, he seems to
get banished to Japan by TKO.
I assume they'll do a press conference early next week, and I'm sure that Nakajima will do something to get attention at that press conference.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Try to think what he could even do at this point, but like, I don't just come out wearing well, he can't come out wearing like a lion map because he gets sued. But yeah. What I'm actually wondering about, because right, like one of the reasons why he's doing this is because he was so heavily rumored to go to New Japan. Like, do you think this whole like thing is actually ticking off New Japan and might actually reduce his chances of going there? Or maybe he never actually was planning to ever go there?
I don't know. I think, well, I mean, the time to go would have been right after the Dome.
Yeah.
And they've got their talent and they're replenishing their foreign talent with Osprey leaving.
They're gonna poach Kaito eventually.
Probably. So, yeah, there's not a huge spot for him other than being a never champion or an occasional IWGP World Title challenger. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there is stuff for him to do if he
Also,
don't just stick around in All Japan.
I think it's enticing for him to be a big fish in a small pond because he's finally getting to do things he didn't get to do before.
True, but
Which would be
if he
left
does
New
actually stick
Japan.
around long term, I do think then after he loses the Triple Crown, he needs to change his character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is definitely not a thing that can work long term. Like I think it's still working right now, but like can definitely see where like this can run out of steam real bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's All Japan. We'll talk about their big show on the 27th on our next show, and hopefully things will have calmed down by then. But I cannot
It's All
guarantee
Japan.
that. I cannot guarantee that.
To be fair, one of the things though that I do need to say is like because there are so many more people that have started watching All Japan, which is great, but you can definitely notice like the difference in reactions to like backstage trouble between people that have been watching All Japan for years and people that have kind of started recently, where it's like people are like, oh my God, why is there so much backstage trouble in All Japan? And like the people that have been watching for years, it's like, oh, it's a day that ends in Y, and like half the office stuff has left All Japan. Well, okay.
Yeah, it's because they were looking for office staff, or they still are. I know
Yeah.
that too. So yeah.
Look, I mean, they're definitely always like things to get worried about with All Japan. But what I will probably say for like the people that maybe are a bit newer, don't be worried about All Japan. They're not gonna die. Like this promotion is like literally a cockroach. They survived three massive walkouts out of the promotion, including one where literally like all of the native talent left, except for two guys, which I mean, let's be honest, it should have killed the promotion. It just didn't.
I think
but it should have.
in the year 2000, Motoko Baba probably had deeper pockets than Fukuda does now, though.
True, but still, like I mean, I'm not gonna bury this promotion until it's actually dead because it just has shown way too much like resilience. And again, I think also like the Muto walkout, the Wrestle One walkout had a pretty good chance of killing them.
Oh, for sure.
Because they took a lot of young talent with them.
Yeah. And technically they did go under and had to another company with the same names. Yeah, but as I said, like still I think that I would still say though it's an attractive investment opportunity if some media company wanted to get in on it.
Hey, if you're Rakuten, CEO of Rakuten, if you're listening, you should buy All Japan.
Or what's that big company that owns Yahoo Japan now? I think it's like Z Corp or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're a pretty big media conglomerate in Japan. And I was like, because I was just looking at companies that could pop. Yeah. So yeah, Z Holdings, which is which is partially owned by SoftBank.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty big.
And they're sort of like or no, wait, merged with 4 of its subsidiaries. Okay, so it's Line. It's now Line. So this is like the other big media company.
That's even bigger. Oh God, yeah. If they're owned by Line, like if you don't know Japanese social media, Line is like the biggest social media thing in Japan.
Oh yeah, this is new. September 4th. Wait, there's another company. The LY Corporation. All of these things merged. So Yahoo Japan, Z Holdings, Line, all merged into the LY Corporation in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there are definitely people out there that I feel like All Japan should be like a good investment if you want to get some entertainment into your portfolio.
So there's like your Rakutens and your LY corporations out there that they're probably, looking for probably online content and something like that. I mean, I would assume that eventually there's going to be a Bima competitors coming out, right?
I mean, it would be because like there's no way they're just gonna like let Ibima just take over. Which again, Ibima is really big. Like a bunch of the hotels I was staying at just had like an Ibima button on their remote.
And yet can still only get like what 20,000 people to watch WWE.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I just think that All Japan could be at this time, not if half the roster walks out, it would still be a good investment opportunity for a Japanese media / online corporation.
Takeshi Idezawa, CEO of LY Corporation, if you're listening, buy All Japan.
Okay, so we move on to Pro Wrestling Noah and Paul. I had speculated that after the New Year's January 2nd show, things would turn around. Now, I did not expect the main event of the New Year's show to be a disaster like it was, but I'm still getting a much better feeling out of Noah after the first shows this year.
Yes. No, absolutely. Because so basically out of this show, out of the show we're just about to talk about, the Star Navigation one, I was like, okay, this is like, after I walked out of that one, that like I was like, this is the kind of feeling I wanted to walk out of the New Year's show. Because this really was like kind of like revitalized my interest in Noah. I was like, okay, that's like, it really feels like with the Ibushi match, we kind of like reached a nadir.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of like slowly but surely kind of climbing back
up
even because we had to reach a nadir at some point.
Get into. That was bigger. That was like a deeper hole than I even dreamed of.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't expect it to go this deep. Well, I mean, basically, like the depth we reached with that Ibushi match also were kind of hard to beat, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I feel like almost anything would have felt better after that. But like, still, like it feels like there are some interesting new directions that Noah's going into now.
Yeah. So we start off with Star Navigation 2024 at Cork and Hall, drawing 1,139 fans, less than the Fuchi show, which I thought was interesting. Even though
it's a good number for Noah.
It's a good number for Noah, especially after the disaster of January 2nd.
Yes.
So to open the show, three-way match, Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf defeated Hayata and Eita and Ninja Mac and Alejandro in 902 with a Twister Bane from Bane on Alejandro. This was a great fast-paced opener, and I thought it was another great performance from Bane and Wolf.
Yeah, no, there was some really crazy dives from Los Golpadores in there. It was really cool. Hayata was very noticeably, though, not like a step slower than everyone else in the match. Like it was very noticeable at times. Where
you were at the show, right?
Yeah, I was at it was second row. I did second row in each cardinal directions for all 4 Korakuen shows I went to. It wasn't even intentional. I only kind of realized that like when I had bought all tickets and I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually like sitting at each corner. Yeah, but no, I was second row for this one as well. And yeah, so I had a very good like look at like Eita kind of like, where like everyone was doing like the flips and then Eita was just kind of, not Eita, Hayata was just kind of like there. What I will say though, Eita was very over, like much more so than I would have thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, actually. It's why he gets his push.
Yeah, true.
Then next up, we had Shuhei Taniguchi defeating Ulka Sasaki in 7 minutes and 19 seconds with a small package hold. I was somewhat surprised that Sasaki lost this match to Taniguchi because of Taniguchi, but I thought it was a solid enough match. I mean, look, Ulka is still green, but he, again, performed well. Taniguchi's a good opponent for him, and I thought this was another good showing from Sasaki given his experience level.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. I thought Sasaki really kind of showed that he has potential.
He seems to be serious about it because I don't think he would just come in and do these drops, guys like Taniguchi otherwise.
No, and also he was like really kind of doing like the motions to like Taniguchi to just really lay it in as well. And I thought Taniguchi was really good here too. And I also agree that like I was kind of a bit baffled by like Taniguchi winning, but what I thought was important too was like how he won, because it's not like he won like in a convincing way, right?
Yeah,
Like he just
yeah,
kind of caught Sasaki in like a small package hold and then just immediately like rolled out of the ring. I was like, yeah, okay, just
yeah.
barely made it out of
The
there with the
MMO,
win.
the MMA fighter would know nothing about getting a flash pin, right? So
Exactly. Yeah. So like he just, because it felt like Sasaki was like on the way to like win the match, and then Taniguchi just kind of caught him and was like, okay, I got out of there like just barely, but like I have a feeling next time they have a singles match, like Sasaki is going to beat him.
oh, for sure. And
Yeah.
he would be a good first victory, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
The next up, Team Noah, Mohamed Yone, Akitoshi Saito, Atsushi Kotoge, and Hiroki defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Takashi Sugiura, Taishi Ozawa, and Yu Owada in 14:26 with a moonsault press from Kotoge on Ozawa. I thought Team Noah here looked a little more motivated than usual that some of these guys show.
This was
I thought,
so much better than it had any right to be.
yes. Well, I mean, there were some still great wrestlers in here, but you know, um, yeah. But then you had like Ozawa and Owada in here too, and should mention that Ozawa's going on excursion to the UK,
Hmm.
so they're really moving him fast, which obviously they need to do.
Yeah, no. But like to me, the standout of the match was Saito.
Yeah,
Like this was like the best performance I've seen out of him in like years. And he was just really good, like underdog baby face in a way as well.
well, it's something for him to do other than wave like glow sticks.
Yes, for sure. But no, yeah, this was actually like really, really fun. Um, yeah, and it's also good that they're sending Ozawa to the UK. Talking about people in the UK, might as well just quickly mention this now. Um, so they've actually announced a title match for Yuichi
Oh, okay.
in Berlin.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that the
he's
one
going to.
against Mike D?
Yeah, it's against
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
D
that will be
on
good.
the 4th of February. I obviously want to go now because of that match. Thing is, they only have like it's standing room only. Are the
Mm.
only tickets left? So I might need to think about it for a little bit more. I'm going to make that decision once I'm no longer jet lagged.
And then next up, Ahio to Dr. Wagner Jr., Daga and Yoshinari Ogawa defeated Kaito Kiyomiya, Hajime Ohara, and Super Crazy in 11 minutes, 7 seconds with the Aztec snake from Wagner on Crazy. It was what it was.
Hmm. Yeah, this was like first match where like that I wasn't really a super big fan of because I really loved the first three matches, and then this one
Yeah.
was like
Also, not the
clearly like a
best
step lower.
use of Kaido on the show either, considering he was part
No,
of an angle
no,
later.
yeah, and it's super crazy. It's like, oh my God, his head looks like it's about to explode.
Okay.
And also like O'Hara, like I just have absolutely no interest in O'Hara versus Daga.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
actually negative interest.
yeah, I'm done. And
Yeah.
then next up, Titus Alexander and Vinny Massaro defeated Jack Morris and LJ Cleary in 10:25 with the big ugly with Alexander pinning Cleary with the big ugly. I thought this was a lot of fun. This was a really
Hmm.
good match and a great build to Alexander versus Morris.
Yeah. And we should mention like Jack and LJ attacked Vinny and Titus during the
Yeah,
entrance as well. And then yeah, they kind of like beat down like Vinny Massaro like forever. And Vinny has actually kind of gotten himself over here as
Vinny
well.
becoming a cult figure in Korakuen.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. He has that like strange foreigner cult figure potential in Japan.
Yeah. He's gonna end up opening like, you know what's gonna happen? Like he's gonna get himself really over, and then he's gonna open like a chain of like pizza restaurants in Japan and become rich. So no, but yeah, this was a ton of fun, and like yeah, and the build up, as I said, it build up really nicely, like the Titus versus Jack Morris match, and just really like putting over Titus as this like super baby face.
Yeah. And then we had Manabu Soya defeating Ryohei Oiwa in 11 minutes and 24 seconds with the Dando. This was a very solid match. I liked it a lot. Soya is continuing his great 2024 as he continued his great 2023. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't like they didn't go all out or everything like that. If you gave these guys 20 minutes in a main event, I think it would be awesome. But still, really good work. And I was thinking, I don't know where Oiwa fits in New Japan if he were to go back.
Yeah, because it's like this, they have so many young guys now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He has slightly different
where to
vibe
even
than the
slot
others.
him in? He does, but I don't know if they would push him over, like, maybe over
I mean,
Narita,
I
but
could
then
see him
there's still three more
surpassing.
guys ahead of him.
I could see him passing Narita, but yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's really talented.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if because I feel like either Kaito gets like Kaito to me is still the obvious one to like get poached, but maybe this actually ends up with Noah poaching Oiwa. We'll see, or maybe do like a trade or something.
No, well, because I think Kaido and Oiwa being like the young gun tag team has a lot of legs for Noah.
Yeah,
Would be a lot less if if Oiwa stayed in Kiyomiya went to New Japan. So
yeah, for sure.
then Masa Kitamiya, Daiki Inaba, and Shuji Kondo, and Junta Miyawaki defeated Jake Lee, Anthony Green, Yohei, and Tadasuke when Miyawaki pinned Tadasuke. Um, hearing a lot more Junta calls on these shows recently.
Yeah. Also, we're officially through the looking glass.
We
Because
are?
Junta Miyawaki has won a match.
Yes, we are. Maybe his punishment is over and he'll have I don't know. I kind of get that vibe, maybe. Crowd likes him.
Oh, this got such a big reaction when he actually got the win here.
Mhm.
Like the crowd like popped huge for it. Like it felt like a genuine like feel good moment. Like it felt like a pretty big moment. And yeah, I also feel like this is actually like officially like the end of the weird like Junta Miyawaki punishment, and they're actually like gonna do something with him now.
And again, this was your Noah semi-main 6 or 8 man match. Was really good.
Yeah. No, I do have to say, like what they're doing right now with Jake is probably the most I've been interested in him in like it's definitely more interesting than like his title reign.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then after the match, this was where Kaido and Jake had their battle on the mic, right? After this one.
Yes. Also, I should mention actually right after Junta got the pin, I don't think the camera caught that one, but like Jake basically, when he just heard the like he had his back to the finish. So when he heard the bell, he was like clapping. I was like, "Yeah, we won!" And then he like turns around and he like sees Tadasuke on the ground and like Miyawaki like celebrating, and he's like, "That's not right." He was like, "We won, right?" Like he just did this motion to the crowd. It's like, no, like GLG won, right? Like not this guy. Come on, it can't be like Tadasuke just got pinned by this guy. No, look, we won, right? Yeah, clap, clap, and it's like actually really funny.
What's Jake's new look like live?
It's still weird. It's not a much better live than it is on VOD.
um, and in the main event for the GHC heavyweight title, Keno defeated Go Shiozaki in 21 minutes and 7 seconds at the end ring to make his second defense of the title. I thought this was a great match. I went 4.25. I couldn't go higher. I just didn't think it quite reached an epic level, but I was shocked with some of the bumps that Go was taking in this, like the
Yeah.
dragon off the top, and he took a nasty looking German suplex on the outside where he landed on his shoulder, which I thought one of his shoulders was really banged up. So I mean, kudos to him for that performance and everything like that. And it was really a great match. But obviously, everyone was expecting Keno to win. And I think Go and Team Noah are going off in a different direction because I saw some people being like, well, why is he getting a title shot now? Well, I'm still convinced that Go is getting downcycled and going to do his own thing.
Yes.
That's my feeling.
I think that was definitely even more apparent on like the next show as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also thought this was a great match. Also like 4.25 on that one. I definitely had some like basically some concerns that Go was gonna win, which I felt like was like the wrong move here.
Yeah.
And then yeah, definitely was very happy when like Keno just put him away. And yeah, great match for Go. This might be one of his last, like, I don't know if I'm willing to say that this was his last title
No,
shot,
I don't think so.
but it definitely was one of his last title shots. And it might be like the last one where he's like really competitive, because I definitely don't think he's going to win the title again.
Well,
And
in this company, you never know.
true, but yeah, great match otherwise. Like great performance from Keno as well.
Mhm.
Just like he was really like selling his ass off as well for the submissions from Go. And just yeah, he like sold his foot and everything. But like I think there were people even saying was like, "Oh my God, does Keno have a broken foot or whatever?" And it's
Yeah,
like, no, he
yeah.
was,
That was good.
yeah,
But with Go, it's always like break glass in case of emergency.
true. Like you can always like put the title on him, but hopefully that won't be necessary. But we shall
Yeah.
see.
And I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, Keno should hold this title all year, like into
Yes,
2025, no question, because he's
yeah.
the biggest star in the company who can work, amazing promo, funny guy, can do all sorts of
Mm-hmm.
angles, and he can bring stability to this company.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. And as much like, and you know, actually, who should beat him on the New Year's Eve show next year?
Oh,
Wagner.
oh, you think so, eh?
I think Wagner is like, I think he should hold that title, and like you can have him lose here, and then you can like basically rebuild him for like the rest of the year to like build him back up to really put him over the top and like
Yeah.
have him be that like top gaijin essentially.
I could see Kato winning the N1 and losing to Keno.
I could. Oh, you mean like he loses it like on the like Dolphins Arena show or whatever? Or
Yeah,
I don't even know if they're
yeah,
running
he
that full
wins the
time.
N1,
Yeah.
but then loses in the title challenge for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And then you can have like Wagner like win
Because
on
I'm
the New
not
Year's Eve show.
sure who else you could give an N1 to that would feel like what Jake or
You could do Jake, yeah.
or Go or Wagner.
No.
They're very small.
Go, absolutely not. You just
No.
had Go
Oh
win the
yeah,
N1 and it
he
was like
got
this
his.
big thing,
So
you
what
know.
you got Kaido, you got
Mm-hmm.
Jake and Wagner. And
Mm-hmm.
you could do the Keno wins the N1 storyline if you wanted to too.
And then
Um,
he like picks his own challenger.
yeah. But but other than that, that's not a lot. That's not a deep bench.
No, they definitely need some more people. So that might actually be good if they bring in someone like Ishikawa who they can like at least throw into a main event believably.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll well, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I figure we're getting a Keno versus Chicago match if that happens.
Mm-hmm. Because you
Uh,
can even like use it to like build the whole like All Japan versus Noah storyline a bit more as well.
yeah. So interestingly enough. And then so we go to Noah Sunny Voyage 2024 at Shinjuku Face in front of 281 fans. Not the greatest number for Shinjuku Face.
No.
That's like a little over half full.
Yeah, there was some very noticeably empty seats as well.
Yeah. So in the opening match, Ninja Mac defeated Alejandro in 5 minutes and 43 seconds with the cradle. I mean, this is exactly what you thought it was, just a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
acrobatic stuff, but it was a lot of fun and the kind of thing you want to put in an opening match.
Yeah. So is the like white belt done now? Because or is
No,
it still? I guess it's still Monday
Monday Magic
Magic.
comes back in April.
So I guess that's when the belt will reappear because I
I
noticed that
guess.
Mac never had the belt with him
Yeah,
on anything.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean, hey, at least according to like some of the like Japanese smart voting, it's its own promotion. So
I saw that. That's funny. Well, hey, it was the one of the best things they did all year.
yes, for sure.
And then in the second match, Manabu Soya, Shuji Kondo, and Junta Miyawaki defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Hajime Ohara, and Super Crazy in 10 minutes and 56 seconds when Soya pinned Crazy after a jumping DDT. Uh, it was just there. It wasn't horrible
Mm-hmm.
or anything, but you know,
It existed. That's the
yeah.
best thing I can say about it. Yeah.
And then Masa Kitamiya and Daiki Inaba defeated Takashi Sugiura and Ulka Sasaki in 11 minutes and 39 seconds when Kitamiya pinned Sasaki after just a senton, just the regular senton that Kitamiya
Yeah.
does. But he did something to him right before that, or did something happen, but where it sort of made sense.
Yeah, it's still kind of weird that they keep having him lose, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
again, solid match, good
It
decent
is.
performance from Sasaki.
But you don't want to like drop him out too much if you do want him to be like believable and not just another young boy, basically.
He's taken his lumps. He should probably win within the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to push this guy.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
have no
that's
choice.
really no question there. Yes.
He has a name outside of wrestling. He's 34 years old. He's he's an MMA fighter. He's an athlete. He can
Hmm?
handle the rough Noah style. Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe even get the national title on him.
Oh, that's actually an interesting idea. Yeah, we just kind of like give him some like quick succession of wins and then have him challenge Morris. That's
Yeah.
actually not a bad idea. Yeah.
I think you could do that in like a couple more months, but he should start winning soon.
Yeah. I mean, actually, because if we look at the like Sendai show, that might already be like a good one to give him his first win. Not in a singles match, but in like 6-man tag.
And then Go Shiozaki, Atsushi Katoge, and Hiroki defeated Keno, Taishi Ozawa, and Yu Owada in 15:37 with the strong arm lariat
Mm-hmm.
from Shiozaki on Ozawa. This was billed as one of like Ozawa's farewell matches before he leaves on excursion. I thought this was really good, really solid match. And Go's just rocking the black trunks
Yeah,
and
young
black
boy
boots.
Go.
Yeah. So, you know,
I guess maybe that's his penance, right? Because he technically lost the I am Noah phrase
yes, he
by
did.
losing to Keno, but then Keno was just like, yeah, you can just have it anyway. I don't actually want it.
Or it could just be a case of him waiting for new tights to get designed that don't say I'm
Might also be,
on
yeah.
his butt. Yeah. Um, but I mean, good showing, Go winning was the right thing type thing. Daga and Yoshinari Ogawa versus Hayata and Ada ended with a no contest at 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
And it's actually worse than it sounds.
When O'Hara interfered, but
Exactly.
is getting the next title shot. Nothing's changed here, folks. Move
No.
along.
It's like the other weird thing though is like, so O'Hara intervenes, so is Daga face now? Because like like O'Hara just kind of attacked him out of nowhere and then just attacked him after the no contest as well. So
I got
does that make Daga the baby face?
I didn't get that vibe. I think O'Hara's just angry that um Daga and them are doing ridiculous things.
Sure, why not?
And then next up, Kaito Kiyomiya, Ryohei Iwa, Kyo Dr. Wagner Jr., Dragon Bane, and Alpha Wolf defeated the good-looking guys Jake Lee, Anthony Green, LJ Clary, Yohei, and Tadasuke in 20 minutes and 10 seconds with the Wolf Driver from Wolf on Green. Big shocking finish there. This was another good, the Noah special multi-man match. And it's building up to something that we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But I really like this match. I think overall this show was pretty good for a Shinjuku-based show.
Yes. Oh, no, for sure. Like, which makes it a bit more of a shame that it didn't really draw a big crowd because they did actually put some thought into this card.
Yeah. And then there was more stuff with Kaido and Jake.
Yeah.
After the match, we'll talk about their, well, not their singles match, but there's good-looking guys versus Kiyomiya, Team Kiyomiya. In the main event, Jack Morris defeated Titus Alexander in 19 minutes and 13 seconds with a Tiger Driver to make a second defense of the GHC national title. Titus has gotten himself over. A lot of Titus calls during this match. I thought this was a very solid match. I went 3 3/4. Did not quite hit that 4-star bar for me. Thought it was a little slow at times, but there was some really good, solid work in here. And the crowd was into it.
Yeah.
Titus was great.
No, Titus was great here. Again, like I still have some concerns about Jack as a singles worker. Because he just there seems to be a ceiling there, unfortunately. Like the look is great and the charisma is great and everything, but there just hasn't been that many great singles matches.
I mean, I thought when he came into the company, he looked great for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the Sublime is wearing
a little bit.
I mean, not a little bit in singles. The tag team's pretty good.
Tag team stuff he's really good at. Like that I will absolutely give him. Like he's a really good tag worker. I just think there's a limitation on him as a singles worker. And yeah, Titus is great. Titus, I think, is absolutely a guy Noah should like get their claws into. And like he will absolutely massively benefit.
I mean, he's there through Marvelous. I don't know what the politics of all that is, but do they really care if Noah signed him?
No. Like the fuck's Marvelous gonna do? Like sue them?
Yeah, they need to sign Titus.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I could see Titus in AEW in a year. So maybe,
I could also say that, but I feel like he would be a guy that I think really would benefit from just sticking around Japan
yeah.
for like a long time more
Yeah,
and then just really like hone his work, become a bigger star.
he's still
Because he's super young, right?
23.
Yeah.
Yes, you
So
can hang around in
absolutely.
Japan 2 more years.
Yeah, exactly. You can stick around 2 more years, then you're 25. Or you can even do like 3 more years, you're 26, and then you can sign for like a lot bigger money and like immediately get a push rather
Yeah.
than be like one of like the glut of like young undercard guys in
Yeah, because
AEW.
they've just signed, well, probably have signed Brian Keith and everything.
Yeah.
So there's like more young indie guys that are coming in. So yeah, he could get a different spot if he came along later.
Yeah.
So that was a good show for a Shinjuku Face Noah show. Solid. Some stories moved along, some good ones, some not so good ones. So we're going into Noah preview mode here. So we've got on February 20th at in Nagano. Not much. We got like Soya, Kondo, and Miyawaki versus Go, Katoga, and Hiroki, which could be good. We got Jack Morris, Anthony Green, and Algie Clary versus Wagner, Daga, and Yoshinori Ogawa. I don't know how that's going to go. So we got another Taishi Osawa send-off match. We got Kaito versus Ozawa. I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Keno, Dragon Bane, and Alpha Wolf versus Jake Lee, Yohei, and Tadasuke.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
We got Marufuji, Sugera, Alka, Sasaki, Ninja Mac, and Alejandro versus Inaba, Oiwa, Hayata, and Ada. Oh no. Hajime Ohara versus Super Crazy.
Ugh.
And Shuhei
Gonna be rough.
Taniguchi versus Yu Owada. And then the next day, which is a slightly bigger show on the 21st at the Tokyo Tama Mirai Messe, we've got. Okay, so I thought this was going to be an elimination match, but the Noah website has it as a 12-man tag team match with a 60-minute time limit with 3 falls, 2 out of 3 falls. So
Okay. So 2 or 3 falls match.
this is what it says. So
Hmm?
Jake Lee, Jack Morris, Anthony Green, LJ Cleary, Yohei, and Tadasuke versus Kaito Kiyomiya, Manabu Soya, Masa Kitamiya, Daiki Inaba, Shuji Kondo, and Junta Miyawaki. I think that will be pretty good, and it'll probably go.
Hmm?
It probably could very well go 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm actually really into this like Jake Lee Kaito feud.
Much better than their.
Yeah, this has so much more energy than the title feud. It's weird.
All it takes is a monocle.
Apparently so, yeah. It's also like the like most like stuff really, or like the most like something that like Kaito with like consequences thing that Kaito has been doing since he like lost the title as well.
Yep. Well, I mean, he had his feud with House of Torture. Now it actually ended
Yeah,
up
but
going.
okay, but I mean in Noah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
there's still the promotion that he signed to.
And then we've got Go Shiozaki versus Shuhei Taniguchi.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot
Which
complain
is
about
that's
that.
a cool match. Yeah.
Keno, then Keno, Ohara, and Super Crazy versus Wagner, Daga, and Yoshinari Ogawa again.
Mhm.
Um, Naomi Marufuji, Takashi Sugura, Alka Sasaki, and Yu Owada versus Muhammad Yone, Akitoshi Saito, Atsushi Katoga, and Hiroki. We got Hayata teaming with Bane and Ninja Mac versus, listen to this, Ada, Alpha Wolf, and Alejandro. So the partners collide.
Oh,
And
who's
then,
gonna turn on who?
yeah, and then another send-off match for Taishi Ozawa. Ryohei Oiwa versus Taishi Ozawa.
That's actually a really
So
cool one. Yeah.
Ozawa going out with style, but we're not done with Noah because we've got crossover in Sendai on February 4th with a three-way match: Ninja Mac versus Alejandro versus LJ Cleary, Manabu Soya, Masakitamiya, Daiki Inaba, Hayata, and Ada versus Go Shiozaki, Muhammad Yone, Akitoshi Saito, Atsushi Katoga, and Hiroki, Naomichi Marufuji, Takeshi Sugiura, and Ulka Sasaki versus Saxon Huxley, Timothy Thatcher, and Shuhei Taniguchi. So Real is still alive.
Yeah, and I feel like this might be maybe where like Sasaki like pins Taniguchi,
Yeah,
or it could be like one of those where like Taniguchi gets like another roll up on Sasaki, and then he beats him like the next
yeah.
time they meet.
That's a big show or bigger show. So could do that there. Not a bad idea. Then we got Jake Lee, Yohei, and Tadasuke versus he returns Kazuyuki Fujita, Shuji Kondo, and Junta Miyawaki. For the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, Daga versus Hajime Ohara. And coming off of the results at Shinjuku Face, for the GHC Tag Team titles, Jack Morris and Anthony Green versus Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf. Paul, what do you think of that one?
I think it's interesting. Like, I wonder, if, like, are they like moving up to heavyweight permanently now? Because I don't know, like, because Dragonbane to me is a junior, but Alpha Wolf is like large enough to be a heavyweight.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to be mean because I like Morris and Green, but is this the best mesh with these guys? Are these guys going to mesh well?
I think Green, yes, because
Yes, actually, you're
can
right.
actually base pretty well for them. Morris, we'll have to see.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like, like, have we ever actually seen really Morris do like a lot of like base work? Which is
no.
what they're gonna have to do here for like these two.
Yeah. Is Jack Morris a base god? We'll find out. And the GHC heavyweight title, Keno versus El Hijo to Dr. Wagner Jr. So I think that looks like a pretty good show.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that main event. I think that should be excellent.
Yeah, for sure.
Keno should win, though. Like I love Wagner, and I feel like I said, I think he should win that title eventually. But Keno, that this needs to be like the defining
this needs to
Keno
be,
reign.
yeah, this needs to be the defining Keno reign. But wait, there's more. So Team Noah is having their first show at Corkin Hall on February 15th under the tagline Limit Break 1, starting over. So we got Hiroki versus Taka Michinoku with the trainer and the trainee.
It's a cool idea.
3 count no fall special rules, which I assume is just a submission or knockout. Kazushi Sakuraba versus Daisuke Sakamoto, which I don't know. We'll see. It could be good. It could be a mess. These guys are kind of, obviously old and banged up.
Yes.
Mohamed Yone versus Masato Tanaka.
That is a cool match. That is a cool match. Like they're just gonna beat the shit out of each
other. I hope Yone has comes out in looking serious and something, right?
Yeah.
Come out some battle arts gear.
Has his hair tied up.
Yeah. Kazuyuki Fujita and Akitoshi Saito versus Togamaki and Tomoaki Hanma.
Yeah, that is a match.
Oh God.
Is also like Saito's the best worker in that match, right? Like he's like the least washed out of all of them.
Well, I suppose the question is, can Makabe still go if he actually put effort in?
Well, to be fair, that's a problem with him and Fujita, where they like just don't give a shit most of the time.
Yeah. Because he's is Makabe even 50 yet? He might be actually. Might be just on that line.
But he has really saved his body over like the last 10 years.
Oh, he's 51. He's 51 now. He'll be 52 this year. Older than well, he debuted in 97, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then just announced, like in the last 48 hours, Shuji Ishikawa versus Yu Owada.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool match. It's also like Yu Owada is like by far and away the youngest person on this card, and it's not even close.
He is. See, the only person under 30 on this show.
Yeah, like I think Hiroki is like the next closest one.
No, Katoge is like Hiroki's in his 40s. Katoge's like 38.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Katoge. Yeah, okay, so like at least there's people within 10 years of Yu Owada.
Yeah. He'll probably squash him.
He should.
But it won't be like Anzai versus Ishikawa.
No, but I feel like he might pin him with like with the press.
Yes, or the running knee or something. It won't even be a fender driver.
No, I don't think so.
But I mean, if you get Ishikawa, you probably should build. I mean, Could you do Keno versus Ishikawa in that Sumo Hall show that they're running in May?
Mm.
I mean, who else you
But
got?
then again, what do you even have for that you could even put on top of that? That would be a very main event for that. So I guess you might as well just try that.
If you could convince Kazuki Fujita to lay down for Keno, maybe.
No, that's not a draw.
Yeah. But is Ishikawa a Sumo Hall draw? No.
Neither is Fujita.
Yeah. So that might be the best match you got.
Yeah.
And then what I assume is going to be the main event, Go Shiozaki and Atsushi Katoge versus Jun Akiyama and Yuji Nagata. So Akiyama has finally crossed back over into the Noah universe.
So what I'm thinking is this whole Team Noah thing and them kind of running their own shows just a trick to get Akiyama back onto a Noah show. Because that was my first thought when I saw this match being announced.
I mean, Akiyama just doesn't look particularly interested in DDT.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, we were just talking about like Sumo Hall worthy main events.
Oh, right. Yes.
Jun
Now,
Akiyama
that is-
versus Keno absolutely is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So if we can convince Akiyama to actually do work Noah, then absolutely you put that on top of the Sumo Hall show.
I mean, I assume Katoge is getting pinned by Akiyama here.
Yeah. I don't think there's really like much of a doubt here because like who else is got like you just look at these four men and it's like no, it's very obvious who's getting pinned here.
Yeah. Even though Shiozaki and Katoge would be a good tag team to go with.
Oh, yeah, I mean you can still do that anyway, but like
Yeah.
there's no way they're pinning either Akiyama or Nagata.
No. I mean, outside chance Go pins Akiyama, but I highly doubt it. But it would be the next likely finish. Technically, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it would be. I mean, actually, if they want to like put teams together, I actually wouldn't be against like Shiozaki and Akiyama teaming back up again.
That would be good.
We were kind of robbed of that team.
Burning version 307.
Yeah.
And then of course we've got to talk about we've only got 2 matches on the show. But NTV produced 70 years of pro wrestling broadcast on the Nippon Television Pro Wrestling Show on February 9th at Korakuen Hall. First of all, we have a dream match here with Jun Saito and Rei Saito versus Timothy Thatcher and Saxon Huxley.
Yep.
Honestly, Paul, this could be good.
It could be. Like, if there's anyone that could kind of like drag Huxley to a good match, it would be the Saitos.
It would just be them doing the Saito things. I mean,
yes, which I think works well with Huxley.
I assume the Saitos are winning this.
Yeah.
Because, what I think is going to be the main event, I think they might have announced it as such. We got Yuma Anzai versus Kaito Kiyomiya.
Which is a really, 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 really cool match. I am very excited for this. Obviously, Kaito's going. Okay, here's the thing. It would be incredibly funny if Anzai wins.
It would be incredibly funny if Anzai wins. If Anzai wins, then Kiyomiya's got to have one foot out the door. I know.
Kiyomiya should just be like, okay, like even if he doesn't, he should be like, okay, this is nonsense. I'm just fucking off to New Japan.
You had this. You like sold me out to this company that has an internal crisis backstage. Maybe crisis is wrong word.
To a guy that like, while incredibly talented, is like 1.5 years in, and I have won your title multiple times. What are you even doing?
I mean, they could do a 30-minute draw. That's also very possible.
Could also do that, but I think still the most likely outcome is Kaito winning.
Yeah. It'd be interesting what the politics are because I feel like this is a show that they're like, I don't know what the relationship between Noah and All Japan is, and it could not be good right now. But this is obviously a case of NTV giving both of them money.
Yeah, which I think really helps paper over like concerns where it's like, not just here's a bunch of money.
We'll just do it.
Tend to be
maybe
sure.
fences can be mended.
Yeah.
But that is the main event. It'll be interesting to see what the politics shake out otherwise. And I do not have any word yet on how it's going to be broadcast. I mean, I assume it's going to be on G+, which might not be good for us.
Yeah, that it's going to be rough to like get our hands on that at that point, but
so
I'm sure we'll be able to watch it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, well, for those of us in like the Eastern time zone in North America, this might involve getting up at 4:30 a.m. to watch the pirate Japanese TV, which is how I watched the 50th anniversary show, actually. Um, so yeah, there's that. We'll let you know how when it's broadcast. Maybe it will hit the streaming sites afterwards. I don't know what the rights and the politics of all that are because if I suspect it airs on TV live, this is going to be interspersed with clips from classic All Japan and Noah.
Yeah, which that might make again the rights situation a lot more complicated.
Oh, and speaking of upcoming things, Stan Hansen is going to be back in Japan in March doing like talk battles and signings and everything. So maybe he's on an All Japan show during then. I don't know. But that was just something I saw.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Which is always cool when like I think I actually got a flyer for that now that I think about it.
What do you like? Which is funny because also then was what are you going to do? The Hansen and Nakajima photo op?
Yeah, I mean you should.
Mm-hmm. So that's Noah in All Japan and everything going on. Waiting to see how everything pans out in All Japan. But feeling good about Noah. Paul, what are your final thoughts on this?
No, I would agree. Like, definitely feeling a lot more positive about Noah than I have for like the last couple of months.
Sure. Absolutely.
Like, just a lot more interesting stuff going on, a lot more like stuff to sink your teeth into. I'm still positive on All Japan as well. Like I said, like, yes, I get this concern and everything with all of the backstage
I mean, I'm
drama,
mostly too, but my negativity is between backstage squabbles and whatever Fukuda's doing, obviously more so than WWE or anything like that.
But I mean, like I said, like it's All Japan, like it's like
and that
happens just all the goddamn time.
And that show on the 27th will be good, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Other than that, deathmatch.
So I'm still like they'll be fine, and this kind of stuff just happens with them every once in a while, and we just kind of have to accept that that's what it is with them. So yeah, I'm still positive on both of them, so that's good. I'm my brain is kind of running out of energy really badly right now.
Okay, so we'll wrap it up now. We'll be back right after the 27th because we'll have those two Noah shows this weekend to talk about and the big All Japan show in Tokyo on the 27th. So we'll be back in about 10 or 11 days, less than 2 weeks. So we'll talk to you then. Take care.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the podcast all about Joshi Pro Wrestling here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. Every other Monday, we are with you talking about the biggest news in Joshi, along with show reviews, previews, and much, much more.
So if you're new to Joshi or you've been a longtime fan, this is the show for you. We've got something for everyone here. So check us out, Jumping Bomb Audio.